Okay, now before we go to a casino and step up to a craps table and actually reach into our pockets and invest any money in playing the game, we need to understand the implements of the game and how the game is actually played. So let's take a look at the dice that are used on a craps table. Dice themselves are pretty simple little beings. They are cubes. There's 6 sides on a cube, and we use 2 cubes to throw down the table. Each one of them has 6 sides. There's a total possible number of dice combinations that can come off of these 2 dice. So each dice has got 6 sides. 6 times 6 is 36. There are 36 possible dice combinations, and I'm going to show you a chart here in a second that has all those combinations on it. When you step up to the game, the dealer, when it's your turn to shoot, you will get a choice between like 5 dice. They'll give you 5 dice. You're not playing Yahtzee, you're playing craps. So you're going to take 2 dice. Any 2 dice will do. And the reason they give you a choice is because they want to give you a choice. They don't want to make it seem like you don't have a choice and they're slipping you loaded dice. You'll never get loaded dice in a real casino. There's no need for the casino to cheat. All the games have a built-in house advantage, so there's no need for them to cheat. You don't have to worry about that. But when you do go play it, you need to know a couple different things about the dice. And again, there are 36 possible dice combinations. And here's my little chart to show you the 36 possible dice combinations. If we take a look at this chart, we will notice one thing right off the bat. There's more ways to make a certain number here than there is to make anything else on the dice. This is how we read it, from right to left or left to right. There are 6 different ways to make 7. There's more ways to make 7 than any other number on the dice. We're going to win on 7 in this game, and we're going to lose on 7 in this game. 7 determines what the odds are against other numbers, because when other numbers roll, you're not rolling a 7, and their odds are that 7's going to roll. There's more ways to make 7 than anything else. So when we look at the odds are always determined against 6 ways to make 7 versus, let's pick another number, say the number 10. There are 3 different dice combinations out of 36 possible, 3 dice combinations to make a 10, and 6 different dice combinations to make the losing number 7. So it's loser over winner. We have 6 ways to lose and 3 ways to win. The odds are 6 to 3, or 2 to 1. If you look at the ratios or the fractions that are on that, you can reduce those down and get a better, more understandable payoff. It's a 2 to 1 advantage for the house, because there's more ways to make 7 than there is to make the number that you're betting on if you're betting on a 10. Let's say you're betting on a 4. It's the same thing. There's 3 different dice combinations to make a 4. There's 3 ways to win and 6 different ways to lose. So there's twice as many ways to lose as there is to win. Let's take a look at another number. Let's look at the number 9. There are 4 different dice combinations to make a 9. And there's 6 different dice combinations to lose on to make a 7. So it's 6 to 4, or if you reduce your ratios or your fractions, it's a 3 to 2 advantage for the house. So when you make those numbers, they're going to pay you odds. The odds are you're not going to make the number. The odds are 7's going to roll because there's more ways to make it. But if you do make the number you're betting on, they're going to pay you that number plus a little bit more, because the odds are that you weren't going to make it, but you beat the odds. So that's where the word odds comes from. Most people don't understand that. A lot of dealers I've talked to, even that have been dealing on the games for years, they don't really understand where the odds come from and how they came up with those numbers. But that's how they do it. 36 total dice combinations. There's 6 ways to make a 7. 6 ways versus any other number on the board to lose. This is how we look at it. That's how the odds are determined. So with that, we can get real confusing on the odds and tell you that there are actually a couple of different kinds of odds on the craps table. There are things called pass line odds and the come bet odds. Those odds are the same. They pay the same. Those are actually the true odds. And when I was showing you these numbers over here, that's what those are in reflection to, is the true odds. The players have a couple of different ways to put money on the game. You can go through the come and let the dice determine what the numbers are going to be, and those will pay the come bet odds, which are the true odds. Or you can actually place your money on the individual numbers yourself. You choose the numbers, and they will pay you place bet odds, which pay just a tiny bit less than the come bet odds do. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. There's a big misconception there with a lot of players and actually a lot of dealers too about which pays more. So we're going to talk about that. We'll actually set up some scenarios a little bit later on in another segment and show you which one actually pays more and what I think the better move for the player is. So We talked a little bit about odds. We've seen my dice chart. We like the dice. They're a lot of fun, and we need to know how they work. So we know now that there are more probability to roll certain numbers than others. There's more probability to roll these numbers in the center here than there are to roll the numbers on the outside. Well, a little bit later on, we're going to show the numbers on the layout, and we'll put the chart down there again, and we'll let you understand a little bit better about how the layout is laid out and how the numbers present themselves in conjunction with this dice chart. So stay tuned. We're going to be posting some more stuff. I appreciate your time once again. Look forward to talking with you some more. Thank you. Okay, guys, we're going to talk a little bit here about the numbers that are laid up in front of you here. The numbers that are above the cum. This is the dealer's workspace, and this is where he's going to be placing the bets for you when you say you want something on one of these numbers, or if you happen to be going through the cum, this is where the numbers are going to be placed up here when you go through the cum. There's two different ways to get up on these numbers. But I want you first to understand how these numbers work in relationship to the dice chart that we showed you earlier. If we look at this way, 7 is here in the center. 4, 5, 6, 7 would be right here. It doesn't exist. 8, 9, 10. If 7 was right here, this is where it would be on the dice chart. 6 and the 8 are right there. The 5 and the 9 are right there. The 4 and the 10 are right here. This is a mirror image of itself. These two pay the same, these two pay the same, and these two pay the same. What's 10 plus 4? It's 14, isn't it? What's 5 plus 9? It's also 14. What's 6 plus 8? It's 14. Again, these pay the same, these pay the same, and these two pay the same. If we're going to be playing place bets on these numbers up here, they're going to pay as follows. The 6 and the 8 require units of 6. We need to bet $6 here to win $7. These are the only oddballs. Everything else is going to be a $5 bet. That's pretty easy to follow, isn't it? Everything else is $5. Field bets are $5. Cum bets, if you're on a $5 game, you can bet $5 just about anywhere. 6 and 8 are the only oddballs. They require units of 6. $6 here will win you $7. That's why they make you bet $6 to win 7. Here on 5 and 9, $5 will win you $7. And on 4 and 10, $5 wins you $9. Why do these pay more? Because they're harder to make. As far as our probability chart is concerned, harder numbers are going to pay more because the odds are more against you making them. But when you do make them and you have money on them, you've beaten the odds and they're going to pay you just that little bit extra. So again, 6 pays 7, 5 pays 7, and 5 pays 9. Those are place bet odds for these numbers. Units of 5 pay units of 7 here, units of 5 pay units of 9 here, and units of 6 pay units of 7. So if I have $6, it pays 7. How much does it pay if my bet is $12? If every 6 pays 7, I've got 2 6s there, that pays 2 7s. It pays $14. If I had another $6 unit there, every 6 pays 7. I've got 3 6s, that pays 3 7s. It pays $21 because 7 times 3 is 21. So this kind of stuff gets a little bit confusing for the beginner player because they're not quite sure why they're being paid extra dollars here and there. This is why. If you have money up on the numbers, they're going to pay you the odds that are associated with those numbers. That's place bet odds. Let's talk a little bit about the cum bet odds or pass line odds. Those odds are the true odds. And if we look at our chart again, there's 6 ways to make 7 for us to lose. So our odds are 6 ways to make 7 versus whatever number we're talking about. There's 6 and 8. There's 5 ways to make 6 and 8. So the true odds are 6 to 5. The true odds for a 5 and 9 are 3 to 2. And the true odds for a 4 and 10 are 2 to 1. Again, we have 2 different sets of odds for these numbers. We have place bet odds, and then we have the true odds, which are related to the cum bets and also to the pass line. They're going to pay you true odds on those bets. Place bet odds pay a little bit less than the cum bet odds do. Again, we're going to talk about that stuff in detail too here in a future segment, so nobody's confused on that. 6 and 8 pay 7 to 6. 5 and 9 pay you 7 to 5. 4 and 10 pay you 9 to 5. Those are place bet odds. On the converse side, the true odds are 6 to 5, 3 to 2, and 2 to 1. That's a little bit confusing, but it's okay. You've got time to watch this over and over again so you get it. So that's pretty cool too. Watch it over and over again. Learn the odds. Learn to understand why the odds pay what they do for the individual numbers. It will service you well in the future. Thanks again for watching. There's a lot more to come, guys. Keep watching and stay tuned.